Okay, so to wrap up with Abzan Evo, the deck was fine. I'm really struggling to peg why I didn't like it as much as the other Evo decks, as Naya. Felt like the way my deck was constructed, I may as well almost be an Abzan deck. I wasn't doing enough with my Evos. Uh, there wasn't. So, like, I think the actual issue is that because there's only 4 Evo and no extra tutor piece, you're just forced down the fair game plan every single game, and or almost like I comboed once in those 5 matches. You're not really getting a lot out of the tutor package in this deck, and I think that if you went, you have to choose a way to go. I think that like you could either be Abzan Little Kid, which is what this deck's trying to do, and that deck's fine, it's a deck, or you can be like an actual tutor deck, and I think that the big issue here is that you're just kind of going down the middle and not choosing either, and you end up being a bad version of both, which is how we lost to the Abzan Mirror. You just like got out Abzan by them. Strangle Guys is just not a magic card. Please do not play this card. It is very, very bad. Um, I don't know if all 4 Seed Rhinos. I don't know. This is like another symptom of the deck just being too grindy and trying to be a fair deck when it needs to choose a direction. It's like, oh look, I could be a tutor deck, but I have all of these Siege Rhinos in my deck. Revelark was very bad in this deck. It should be Thrag Tusk if you're gonna go down this road. You're I don't know what your other tutor is gonna be, but like you're pretty creature heavy and you don't have like a way to sack or flicker Revelark. Like that's a big thing in the other deck is being able to flicker it. Not a huge fan of it. Also, like your creatures just don't come back off of it the way that like Kiki Jiki or Ewit does. So Revelark is not well suited to this. Like maybe you can make like an Ewit setup in this deck, like Eternal Witness. That might be the way you want to go actually. Like maybe that's the hybrid you want. You want like Eternal Witness to go like pseudo green black, pseudo Abzan Snapcastery. I can see that. Like just be like an rebuying your removal spells with Witness sounds great actually. So maybe that's if you want to Evo, just explore going down that road, being like a grindy Eternal Witness deck. And these, you don't need 7 mana dorks in this deck. You probably need like 6, and you probably want another land instead. Thicket was fine. As much as I talk about the card being bad, it was fine. Um, yeah, I think you need more powerful hate cards, but maybe I just didn't have the right ones for those matchups. This setup was great. Souls, Thoughtseize, Decay. I don't want to Rhetoric's a card that I just don't get. I think you can cut it. I guess these other 6 are pretty. You don't need the second Rex Sage either. So like these 2 can be cut pretty easily. I like the other cards in the sideboard. I don't know if you want all Thoughtseizes or like an IOK Thoughtseize mix, but you'll see. The main deck cards I didn't like were Revelark. I think the 4th path you could diversify your removal and have like a Decay main instead of the 4th path. Um, that probably saves you a side. I guess the path would go on the sideboard anyways, but you can think about splitting it up. This card's not necessary. It's just a big doofusy flyer. This card could just be a sideboard card, but like it just like eats a sideboard space. Like then you need this card on your board, so you got to think about what's going on there. Um, and just nothing to do with this card, please. I don't know what replaces it. I don't know what. You don't want like Tarmogoyf. You don't want more ooze. Could be just Grimflayer. That card's well. I guess that card's not even good in this deck either, but I don't know. I'll have to think about what the creature is. I don't want Wall of Roots either, but you'd want a 2-drop. I'm probably gonna stick to working on Naya Evo for the next week or so, but there's definitely promise here if you want to be a more fair deck. I think that there's metagames where this is going to be a little better, but I have to think about what those are. Probably just like when Lingering Souls is really good, you'd rather be this deck. Because I think Siege Rhino's about, I guess Lingering Souls versus P and Kieran's about the same, so I don't actually know what the draw to this deck versus the other deck is, versus Naya. I think it might be if you dive deep into the black tutor targets, that would be it. But yeah, this either make this deck a better evolution deck or make it a better Abzan deck. You have to choose your direction. Otherwise, you end up with reasonable, like okay deck that's not great at being either.